Republican district attorneys and attorney generals throughout the country are closely watching the tremendous weaponization of justice that is being utilized against me. There's never been anything like it. But you ought to watch, and frankly, it's an eye for an eye, or it's fight fire with fire. What they're doing to our country is amazing. So Republicans, I hope you're watching.
Was former President Trump out with a rather stark message this week, calling on all Republicans to pay close attention to the never-ending barrage of indictments levied against him. The former president's warning come as he enters a not guilty plea in the case brought by Fulton County DA Fannie Willis. Joining us now, attorney and political analyst Andrew Lieb. Also joining us, former U.S. federal prosecutor Doug Burns. Andrew, I'll start with you. Look, obviously, there's going to be a spectacle. Trump, he won't be there. He's going to plead not guilty. But certainly, Fulton County, for people who say that they want to do things in a way that tries to eschew the scent of politics, they keep finding ways to inject the circus into the ring. Now we're hearing they're going to be actually having this case on YouTube. How in the world, with a case that is so political in nature, does that actually not in many ways bias a potential jury pool?
Joe, it's a unique thing that goes on in Georgia. I'm a New Yorker. We don't allow cameras in the courtroom. But in Georgia, they allow cameras in the courtroom. As you say, it's going to be on YouTube. But fortunately, and I think this is really fortunate, we have to emphasize it 3 times, fortunate, that Donald Trump has waived his hearing because it's reducing the spectacle. And he is now saying, I'm going to enter a plea of not guilty. And he's waiving the public reading. And we could get on with the show. And the real show, Joe, is what's going over with Mark Meadows, because that could move the whole case and all the cameras out of the courtroom if he's able to move this to federal court. We have Judge Jones hearing that. He's got some briefs in, and we're going to see what his ruling is soon, Joe.
Absolutely. Now, look, you have Fannie Willis here. Says that she wants to have the October trial date. It is now September. There are shoplifters right now who are getting arrested who won't go to trial in sooner than a year. This is an 18-person RICO case where they're trying to say that there was an attempt concertedly to steal the election. Doug, how in the world is that timeline even reasonable for somebody who is in a courtroom every single day and knows that that is, to put it mildly, a very aggressive timetable?
Well, that's an absurd trial date that's never going to happen. It's impossible. 19 defendants, removal petition pending and so on. So to me, again, having done this for 38 years in a row, it's just laughable to see the government, insisting, and I'm using the air quotes, on a quick trial. The speedy trial right is the defendant's right, as you've heard a lot of the experts calmly explain. So it's just that more than anything shows us just the naked political aspect. As far as cameras, I agree with my colleague. I'm dead set against that. That creates all kinds of motivations that are terrible. People mugging and trying to get their 15 minutes of fame. The Simpson case, O.J. Simpson, went on for months and months and months. Should have been a 3 or 4 week trial. So again, we must minimize the circus aspect of all of this. Absolutely. Well, Andrew, you want to, go from Georgia to D.C., from state court to federal court. We have the U.S. District Court Judge Tanya Chutkan. She has set a March 4th trial date for special counsel Jack Smith's election interference case against President Trump. Again, one day before Super Tuesday. So to me, this is insane. You have a case about election interference, and the first trial date, which could be pretty much any day, is set before Super Tuesday. To the average person on the street, there are only probably around 3 days in the presidential election cycle that they know about. They know about the New Hampshire primary, they know about the Iowa caucus, and they know about Super Tuesday. If they're a super electoral nerd, they might know about the South Carolina primary. But how in the world, with all the dates on all the calendars, maybe there's also these other days of the week, you have Thursday, Friday, or Wednesday even, why would you have it before Super Tuesday if you're legitimately not trying to have an impact on the presidential cycle?
Doug, I love the way you asked that question, because to me it jumped off the page too. A Super Tuesday, I know what that is. I got very excited. because when you're thinking about it, as you say, lots of days, we don't know them, but that one's an important day. That all said, Trump's attorneys already put in something like an affidavit of actual engagement, saying that he already has trial situations going on in Florida that he's going to be dealing with, and he's not going to be able to do that. So we'll see if that day gets pumped. To your point, though, Judge Chutkan is trying to make an appearance that she's not going to care that Donald Trump, she's actually said it, is a candidate, and that instead she's going to treat him, she has no care about what his job is or anyone else's job is. But to show impropriety, sometimes you show impropriety, meaning she's trying to go so hard to show that she doesn't care that he's a candidate by making it the day before Super Tuesday. It raises a lot of eyebrows. But I doubt, as my colleague was just saying, Doug, in the last case, that this is going to happen. Let's assume it was the day. Let's assume it didn't move, Joe. Jury selection alone is going to take months on these types of things. It's not happening that day. It's just a scheduled day. When we're lawyers, we all know that you put it in your calendar, but it's subject to change. And that's the best way I could tell you, Joe.
Doug, quickly, got about 30 seconds here. If you look at what's transpired, you have basically Trump on trial for being in a coordinated effort to steal the election. We now have all of us brushing up on what racketeering actually means. It appears that all of these cases, whether the prosecutors are talking, whether the judges are talking, all seem to have one end: to muck up this political cycle. From your perspective, quickly, does it seem to me, being the pot calling the kettle black, if all of these people are trying to make sure President Trump has as much judicial interference in his political process as possible?
I've never seen anybody indicted 4 times in 38 years. That includes cases with murder, organized crime, and narcotics trafficking. That should tell the viewers a lot. I've never seen anybody charged 4 times. This is wildly, wildly political. And RICO, the use of the racketeering law, was way, way over the ski tips, designed to call lawyers and professors racketeers. It's really very, very troubling, honestly.
Absolutely. Andrew, Doug, God bless you both. Thanks so much for joining us this Sunday. We'll talk to you again soon.
My pleasure.
You.
All right.